Good morning, Andile. Okay, we can see your presentation. You must just, when you are doing it, put it on slide mode. Thank you.
Good morning, Committee Secretary, and good morning to everyone on the platform. Can I check that we have a quorum?
Good morning, Chair, and everyone on the platform. Chair, we're correct. Shall I do the roll call, Chair?
Yes, please do that.
Recording in progress.
Mr. Mbuyane?
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, colleagues. I'm present. Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Chair, Ms. Mwatse? She was on the platform. Chair, Mr. Monakeri?
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, colleagues. I am present.
Good morning.
Chair, Mr. Malamatia?
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, colleagues. I'm present. Thank you.
Good morning.
Chair, Dr. Ntwane?
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, colleagues. I'm present.
Good morning.
Chair, Mr. Mulder?
Good morning, Chair. I'm present.
Morning.
Chair, those are currently the members on the platform. The others may still join us, Chair, and I'll keep you posted, Chair. Thanks.
I'm
here, Chair.
Good morning, Honorable Mwatse.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Can we have the agenda, please?
Chair, I just admitted Mr. Bergman and Ms. Klonyana, Chair.
Okay,
Onto
good
the
morning,
platform.
Honorable Members Klonyana and Bergman. Okay, can I check whether there are any apologies, Committee Secretary?
Chair, I've not
I'm here,
received any-
Chairperson.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm also here. Thanks, Chair.
Good morning.
Chair, I've not received any apologies thus far, Chair, but if I do receive, I'll inform you, Chair. Others may still join us, the two members. Thanks, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Can we have a move and a seconder for the adoption of the agenda as projected here? Honorable Moatse.
Thank you, Chairperson. I move for adoption of the agenda as presented.
Thank you very much. Honorable Mbuyane.
Thank you, Chair. I second the proposal for the adoption of the agenda as presented. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we'll be receiving a briefing from the Competition Commission, and the purpose of this briefing is to engage it on its financial and non-financial performance for the first, second, and third quarters of the 2023-24 financial year. This is so that the committee can assess the performance of the National Department against its resource allocation in compliance with Section 5 of the Money Bills Amendment Procedure and Related Matters Act number 9 of 2009. As the Competition Commission receives a portion of their funding as an annual transfer from the National Department's budget allocation. This is to ensure that it's achieving its set quarterly performance targets given its available resources. Then additionally, we will also, the Competition Commission will also provide us with an update on its investigation into the alleged rand manipulation by a number of banks. Thank you very much. On behalf of the department, I think it's Ms. Matumela. Can I ask you to introduce the entity and so that we can proceed with our deliberations? Ms. Matumela.
Okay.
I'm not getting
Chair, Ms.
Ms. Van
Matumela.
Mierlis.
Oh, it's on the platform, Chair. Ms. Matumela, just join the platform, Chair.
Okay.
I see it there.
Ms. Matumela, we're just asking good morning and welcome to the meeting. We're just asking you to introduce the entity.
Chair, I mean, Ms. Mushi has raised her hand. Maybe she has
Thank you very much, Ms. Mushi.
Morning, Chair. We have Ms. Tanya Anielis, the Acting Deputy
Okay.
for Competition on the platform.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ms. Van Meerlis, can you introduce the entity and we can proceed?
Yes, so good morning, Chair, and good morning, honourable members. Thank you very much for allowing me to introduce the entity. We've got from the DTIC side, myself as acting DDG, my colleagues Mohammed Vauda and Nontombi Matomela. From the Competition Commission, we have the Commissioner, Doris Sepe, who will be presenting. Because I can see Andile on the screen, she's being joined by Andile Gwabeni, who's a manager in her office. I'm not sure who else is here because I can't see everyone else on the screen. So I'm going to request that the Commissioner introduce the rest of her delegation, if that's okay, Chair. Thank you very much.
That's quite in order. Thank you very much. Commissioner Tsepe, welcome to the meeting. You may introduce your team and then go straight into the presentation, which I see is projected here. Commissioner Tsepe.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning to honourable members, colleagues from the DTIC and the Competition Commission. Chair, thank you very much for the opportunity for the Competition Commission to present its quarter 1, 2, and 3 performance report and to give the committee a briefing on the Forex case. I am joined by the Acting Deputy Commissioner and Chief Legal Counsel of the Commission, Mr. Bukosibake Majenge. I'm also joined by Andile Gwabeni, who Ms. Van Meerlis spoke about, who is the Divisional Manager in the Office of the Commissioner. We have the CFO, Mr. Moledi, also here. We also have Makale Mutala, who's also the Divisional Manager in the Cartels Division. Chair, I have apologies from the Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Hardin Rachisusu, who is representing the Commission at the Africa Competition Forum, which is taking place today and tomorrow, and the Acting Deputy Commissioner, James Hodge, who's also the Chief Economist of the Commission, who's currently running the public hearings in the media and digital platform Market Inquiry, which started yesterday, Chair. As you said, I will go straight into it. Just the outline of the presentation, Chair. I will start obviously with the introduction, and then I will go straight into quarter 1, quarter 2, and quarter 3 performance. I'll look at the work program as well of the Commission as we complete this financial year. And then lastly, Chair, I will go on to the briefing on the Forex case, Chair.
Thank you very much. You may proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'm not going to speak more on the introduction of the Competition Act or the powers of the Commission, Chair, as this committee is well aware of that, Chair. But what I will do is speak on this slide, Chair. As you will know, Chair, the Competition Commission and the Competition Tribunal were established 25 years ago. And in this financial year, Chair, we will be celebrating, marking the 25th anniversary of these two institutions. And what we hope to do, Chair, is to basically retrace the steps of these two institutions, the pivotal role that they have played throughout this period of 25 years, shaping the country's economic landscape, looking to safeguard consumer interest and fostering a culture of competition in the economy of the country. And Chair, part of what we will be doing in this period will be in our 25th anniversary, while we're hosting the annual competition conference in September, we will be looking to take that opportunity, Chair, to celebrate, to reflect, and to see what more still needs to be done, Chair. As you would know, that while there has been significant contribution, there's still a lot of work that still needs to be done in this period. And so, Chair, we will also be hoping that the committee will be able to attend this annual conference as we do that for the 25th anniversary. And it will be our time, Chair, to thank the committee for the guidance that they have provided to the authority throughout this 25 years, while holding the authority to account as is required in law, Chair. So that's where we at, Chair, on the 25th anniversary. We'll then move, Chair, to the next slide, Chair, to look at the current priorities, Chair, of the competition in this financial year. Chair, you know that the Commission continues to focus on the implementation of the amendments, the 2019 amendments. And there has been two significant focus, Chair, from our part. One has been to look at competition issues that are affecting low hard-pressed consumers, Chair, in this period. And the second one has been to look particularly at value chain, unlocking value chain opportunities for new players, especially HDP and SME firms, as has been mandated by the amendments to the Competition Act, Chair. And this, Chair, we have done by looking at removing barriers to entry to economic growth. And one of the examples here, Chair, has been one of the consent agreements that I'm going to speak about that the Commission concluded with the SPAR Group. And this was following the grocery retail market inquiry, where the SPAR Group was the only group remaining which hadn't entered into a settlement agreement with the Commission to remove exclusive lease provisions that has been prevailing in the retail sector for the longest of time, Chair. And so while in this financial year, this has been the response on our priorities as a Commission, Chair. In moving now to the overview of the performance for Q1, Q2, and Q3, Chair, you will see that we started slowly in Q1, Chair, at 69%, but slowly moved in Q2 to cover for those that we would have missed in Q1, Chair. By having a 94%, and Q3 we are at 82%. But Chair, what I wanted to emphasize is that this will even out into the financial year, and we are expecting, Chair, to conclude the financial year with an overall performance score of more than 80%. We have been hard at work, Chair, in this quarter to ensure that where there may be difficulties with any targets that we may not be able to achieve, that there are appropriate intervention that we put in place to ensure that we move steadily at ensuring that we are at more than 80% of our filter of our performance targets, Chair. Chair, on this slide, I will look at the operational activities, and there are 2 or 3 things that I wanted to highlight, Chair. One relates to market conduct, and you will see, Chair, that we have been looking to focus on implementing those provisions of the Competition Act that deals with market conduct, because in the past we have not been emphasizing on this area of our work. And you will see that in both Q1 and Q3, Chair, we finalized cases with referrals that are amounting to 9 in relation to market conduct cases, Chair. And this is an unprecedented number of market conduct cases that the Commission has been able to look into. And when we come to enforcement, Chair, you will see that these are not just cases, they are cases in sectors which we believe are important sectors in the economy. And in Q2, Chair, you will see that we again achieved a clean audit under our audit outcomes relating to good governance, Chair. I will then, Chair, concentrate on various work that we've done in the divisions, and I will start in measure control, Chair. As you know, Chair, we measure control or regulation on measures ensures that acquisitions do not undermine competition or the public interest, including employment, SME participation, retention of productive capacity, and importantly, the promotion of greater spread of ownership, Chair. And in this period, Chair, we wanted to highlight some of the conditions that have yielded a substantial public interest gain to the economy while we were approving some of these measures, Chair. And a couple of things to highlight, Chair, is that we have managed to save or create approximately 2,500 jobs through imposition of major conditions in this 3 quarters. We have managed to introduce 3 new ESOPs as a result of major conditions also in the quarter. There's been an estimated 25 billion value of the new ESOP that has been introduced in the quarter, and an estimated value of 9.9 billion supplier development and procurement commitment, particularly for SMEs and HDP-owned firms in this quarter. There has been approximately 38,400 number of workers who have been covered by the ESOPs in this period. You will see, Chair, we give you the numbers, including the number of HDP transactions.
Commissioner?
Yes.
We are speaking to South Africa and accounting to them. So if you can say what is a ESOP and use acronyms. Yeah, let's take the time.
Yes, Chair. My apologies, Chair. My apologies, Chair.
No, that's fine.
Yes, Chair, these are employee share ownership schemes and projects where workers will be participating in the shareholding of those companies that will be merging, Chair. Thank you, Chair, for alerting me to that. And Chair, as you know, SMEs is the small and medium enterprises, and HDPs are firms owned by historically disadvantaged persons as required by the Act. Thank you, Chair.
You may continue. Sorry for interrupting your train there.
No, Chair, that's fine, Chair. It was an important one. Chair, here I'm going to talk on a case study which we thought was an important case study to highlight on one of the measures that the Commission had engaged on, and that was, you will recall, Chair, the Heineken and Distell measure. Here, the Competition Tribunal approved this measure with certain conditions. One of those conditions was the divestiture of the Strongbow brand in South Africa to an independent firm that is majority owned by historically disadvantaged person on a perpetual basis. Consequently, Chair, in order to meet this condition, the Commission was then approached with an acquisition of Strongbow by Cider House Investment, and the Commission approved this measure to Cider House Investment, and Cider House is a firm which has 67% of historically disadvantaged persons ownership. And this was critical in that what you had was an entry of an HDP, majority HDP firm into the beverage manufacturing sector in a significant way, Chair, of an HDP firm into beverage manufacturing sector of Strongbow, which is a notable brand, Chair, where this has not been achieved in the past. So you had an introduction of a significant HDP-owned firm into an upstream market. And CHI will also benefit from this, from transitional services support from Heineken, such as warehousing, logistic, contract manufacturing, and distribution, Chair. The Commission also sought to augment this condition by ensuring that the Strongbow business will remain subject to majority HDP ownership, Chair. Part of merger control means that the Commission may not in all instances be able to approve mergers or even approve mergers with condition. So where appropriate, the Commission may have to prohibit mergers. And here, Chair, I wanted to talk about two cases where there has been prohibition of anti-competitive measures. And as I say, Chair, this fulfills a critical role in preventing permanent adverse structural changes to the economy that will contribute to harmful downstream businesses and harmful business practices to consumers. Two cases, Chair, are important in this case. First is the AkzoNobel and Kansai Plascon merger, and the second one is the Sasol Draslovka case. In both cases, Chair, the Competition Tribunal approved, prohibited these two measures, where in relation to the AkzoNobel case, you were having two, the largest and the second largest manufacturers and suppliers of decorative paints in South Africa. And the merger raised concerns because the merger would reduce alternatives for customers, and the merged entities could increase prices substantially post-merger. And the merging parties could deny the competitors supply of colorants which are needed to manufacture decorative paints, and the tribunal decision was not appealed, Chair. The second one, Chair, was the Sasol Draslovka case, Chair, where which related to a cyanide, which is required by the gold sector, particularly as cyanide is one of the inputs that the gold sectors require in the manufacturing of gold. The players in the gold mining sector supported the Commission prohibition of the merger, Chair, and had the merger proceeded, it would have had a high impact on the costs of cyanide in this regard. And Chair, as I've said, the tribunal agreed to the prohibition of this merger at the time, Chair, and this happened in these 3 quarters, Chair. Chair, I will move to the enforcement component as I've stated, and in this component of the presentation, Chair, I will first highlight the work of the Commission in the food and agricultural markets. Chair, I will start, I know in the presentation I'm talking of the scoping studies, but I'm actually going to start on the second slide, which is the essential food price monitoring report. You will recall that the Commission continues to proactively monitor food prices. And in this period, Chair, the Commission issued the 9th Essential Food Price Monitoring Report. And this report monitored prices in bread, maize meal, sunflower oil, individual quick frozen chicken, and beef prices. The report found that there is still visibility of the rocket and feather effect. And this essentially, Chair, is that we're finding that although prices increase as input costs increase, when those input costs come down, the consumers are not feeling the effect of these reductions or the benefits of the ease in the upstream inflationary prices. There has been a number of reasons cited, including load shedding and the below average rainfall warning in grain in growing provinces particularly. But the rocket and feather effect is still being felt, even with these considerations coming across. What the Essential Food Price Monitoring Report also did was to birth the scoping studies, Chair, that we've referred to in the first slide, and I'll ask Andile to go there. And so, Chair, what we then did following these outputs that we got was to then concentrate on the poultry scoping study and the scoping study into the grains value chains. What these then did, Chair, was to then lead us, and you will see, Chair, as we speak later, to the initiation of the market inquiry into poultry. Chair, I will then move also to the next slide, which is a research study that the Competition Commission is conducting jointly with the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development on the interaction between competition and food security in South Africa, with a focus on the value chains for essential food as reflected in the list of zero rating food items. There are a number of objectives for the study, Chair, and what we wanted to see is the correlation between the market structure and levels of concentration in the essential food value chain. Along each value chain, the study will then look at market share, barriers to entry, price formation, markups and margins, and potential competition issues that may require intervention from the competition authority. We'll also be tracking SME participation across the essential food value chain and understand the determinants of SME participation in markets throughout this value chain. We are hoping, Chair, that the study will be completed in October 2024, Chair. Chair, then I move to the next critical sector, which is energy, Chair. And Chair, as you will see on the slides, the Commission has looked at various interventions in the energy sector. One of the key ones has been a referral against Sasol, in particular Sasol gas, on the pricing of piped gas. And Chair, this is significant because piped gas is cheaper, Chair, than LPG. And various sectors of the economy, particularly industrial users and domestic users, are dependent on piped gas for use, particularly during load shedding time. So what the Commission did in July 2023, Chair, was to refer a complaint against Sasol Gas for excessive pricing of natural pipe gas in contravention of Section 81A, Chair. And the Commission found that Sasol had extracted markups of up to 72% in its pricing of a natural piped gas, Chair. And so what we have done, Chair, at the moment, just to let you know where we are at in the process, is while we have referred the matter to the Competition Tribunal, Sasol has elected to file a review of the to the Competition Appeal Court, challenge both the Commission and the Competition Tribunal jurisdiction to investigate excessive pricing complaint. The matter was heard before the Competition Tribunal in November, the Competition Appeal Court, Chair, I beg your pardon, in November 2023, and we are awaiting the Competition Appeal Court a judgment in this case, Chair. But this is a significant case, Chair, and we are looking forward to the judgment of the Competition Appeal Court. Second case, Chair, on energy, again, relate to solar. And Chair, in this regard, the Commission has referred to the Competition Tribunal a case for resale price maintenance against Victron, who is a manufacturer of solar panels. And here, Chair, we're saying the manufacturer prevents downstream distributors or resellers from reselling products below a stipulated price. And the Commission found that this conduct restricts and prevents price competition downstream, as it restricts pricing autonomy of distributors or resellers of solar panels in South Africa, Chair. And we felt that this was an important market also during load shedding, as consumers were looking for alternative sources of energy in this regard, Chair. In retail, Chair, I've spoken briefly about, in my introduction, about the consent agreement that the Commission entered into with the SPAR Group, Chair. This is ending long-term exclusive lease agreements in the grocery retail sector. And this, as I said, Chair, was the last group between of the retail group. You will recall that ShopRite, Checkers, and Pick n Pay had already entered into these agreements with the Commission. As part of this agreement, Chair, to end exclusive leases by December 2023, the important part was that a concession that SPAR agreed to was that there will be an immediate opening up of opportunities for SMEs and HDP firms, supermarkets, immediately into these retail spaces. And this consent agreement was submitted to the tribunal for confirmation, Chair, and it has been done. So this closes recommendations that the Commission had made in the grocery retail market inquiry. And we think it's a significant one, Chair, because it's not just about retail. It is retail also to the extent that we're looking at food and agricultural markets and ensuring that there are new entry into these markets, Chair. The next sector that I'm going to speak about, Chair, is the health sector. And I just wanted to highlight one matter here, Chair. The Commission initiated a complaint against Johnson & Johnson and its subsidiary company, Janssen, and the initiation related to excessive pricing and exclusionary practices relating to the provision of betaquilline, which is a drug that is used in the treatment of tuberculosis, particularly the drug-resistant, multi-drug-resistant tuberculosis, which is particularly prevalent in South Africa. Chair, following this initiation that we did, Johnson & Johnson then announced, Chair, that it will not be enforcing the secondary patent that it had filed in South Africa and globally to about 133 other low and middle income countries. And what it then agreed to also do is to drop its prices by approximately 45% in South Africa to the National Department of Health, Chair. And we think this was a significant intervention, Chair. Chair, I'm then going to move to market inquiries. As you know, Chair, market inquiries, if you could move the slides, Andile. Thank you, Chair. Chair, as you know, following the amendments of the Act in 2009, the provisions relating to market inquiries were also amended to provide the Commission with remedial powers in relation to market inquiries, where we find that there may be features in the market that may be adversely affecting the market. Just to say, Chair, in the 3 quarters that we're reporting on, the Commission completed the first market inquiry that was established in terms of the new provisions of the Act, and that's the online intermediation platform market inquiry, and the final report was handed to the Minister in this period. The Commission also launched the fresh produce market inquiry, which is currently underway. We've also initiated the media and digital platform market inquiry, Chair. As I said in my introduction, the public hearings of that market inquiry are currently underway until the 22nd of March. We have initiated 2 market inquiries, and their terms of reference, draft terms of reference, have been published for public comment, and there may be a possible initiation of another market inquiry in line with the APP. Chair, as we say, this is an effective instrument that has benefited a lot from the recent amendment of the Act, and it helps the Commission to look at the general state of competition in those markets, Chair. Just some highlights, Chair, on the online intermediation platform market inquiry. As I said, the final report was handed over to the Honourable Minister in July 2023, and it covered a whole range, Chair, as you recall, of platforms and sectors. It covered search, in particular Google search. It covered travel and accommodation. It covered e-commerce, app stores. It looked at food delivery and the property and car online markets, Chair. Chair, what we are happy to mention is that the parties who against whom remedial actions were given by the Commission or imposed by the Commission in this inquiry. Most of them have already started implementing those remedial actions, with a number that have challenged them. But in fact, Chair, those are in settlement discussions with the Commission, and we're hoping that those will be settled, Chair. There are two things that I also wanted to raise with regard to the remedial action. One is that over and above some of the public interest provisions that have been agreed to with the parties in these markets, there have also been remedial actions that allow for entry by new players, and including SMEs players and players of firms owned by historically disadvantaged persons, Chair, so that we open this market. As you know, Chair, digital markets are where a particular growth is happening in the country and globally. And so it's quite critical that we open up these markets for participation and effective participation and expansion by all, Chair. Chair, I've spoken about the fresh produce market inquiry, and that was launched last year. And as I said, Chair, the hearings have continued both in October last year, and some of the hearings also continued in this this year as well. I thought to say, Chair, that part of the products that we're looking at, even in this market, constitute some 70% of fresh produce in the economy in South Africa. And that is apples, citrus fruit, bananas, pear, and table grapes amongst the fruits. And in the vegetables, Chair, we're looking at potatoes, onions, carrots, cabbage, and spinach, Chair. We're hoping to have the provisional report published in the first quarter of the new financial year, and the final report before the end of the financial year, Chair. As I mentioned, the Media and Digital Platform Market Inquiry was also launched in October 2023. Currently we are having public hearings that started yesterday, Chair, and they will continue until 2024, until the 22nd of March, Chair, 2024. The Commission has also published draft terms of reference of the Steel Market Inquiry, and the team has been reviewing all submissions that we have received from stakeholders on the draft terms of reference, and we're hoping to publish the final draft terms of reference once we have engaged with the comments that we have received. And similarly, Chair, we have published draft terms of reference in the poultry market inquiry, and we are looking forward to receiving submissions on the draft terms of reference from various stakeholders. And this is key, Chair, in the sense that submissions from stakeholders help the Commission to engage on the extent of the inquiry that they will be looking into in these market inquiry, so that as we look into the state, the general state of the market and what interventions are required, we're taking into account all submissions and engagement for all stakeholders in these markets broadly. And you will know, Chair, that poultry is a critical a sector in the economy and relied upon by mainly low-income consumers as a source of protein. Chair. Chair, I will then move to litigation, to some highlights on our litigation on the litigation front, Chair. And here, Chair, we start with the Tsutsumani case, and this is a decision of the Competition Appeal Court, Chair, which upheld the decision of the Competition Tribunal imposing a penalty of 3.5 million against Tsutsumani and confirming that finding Tsutsumani guilty of engaging in excessive pricing of face masks that were supplied to the South African Police Service. For us, this was a test case, Chair, on excessive pricing in terms of the new amendments, but particularly excessive pricing relating to public procurement, especially during a pandemic. Most of the public procurement cases that we've been dealing with, Chair, would have been under cartels. And so this was one of those cases, in our view, that was quite critical, Chair, to put a spotlight on excessive pricing in public procurement. Chair, the next case is the case, the confirmation of the tribunal confirming an order of a settlement agreement that was entered into between the Competition Commission and Standard Chartered Bank, Chair, for Standard where Standard Chartered Bank confirmed that they had contravened Section 41B1 and 2 of the Competition Act by price fixing and allocating markets in the Forex market, Chair, which we'll talk about broadly. And Chair, what is significant about this is that Standard Chartered Bank settled this matter by admitting liability and agreeing to pay a penalty, but also agreed to assist the Commission in the further prosecution of the other respondents in this matter, Chair. The next case, Chair, is the confirmation of the consent agreement between Unilever and the Commission. Chair, the significance of this one, Chair, is that over and above the 6 million administrative penalty that Unilever has agreed to pay, this is the one matter where the Commission was able to find innovative commitments by Unilever over and above the administrative penalty, Chair. You recall here, Chair, Unilever agreed to establish an enterprise and supply development fund amounting to 40 million. And this fund is essentially dedicated to provide interest-free business loan to qualifying Black-owned entities in the manufacturing, logistics, and wholesale sectors, and to support Black-owned manufacturing startups in this sector. Unilever also committed to substantially increase by a minimum of to a minimum of 340 million annually for 4 years, the value of its procurement of products and services from local entities, Chair. And this initiative, Chair, what it will do is it will inject economic stimulus into local businesses, Chair. And they have also agreed to broader societal impact, including donating hygiene, disinfectant, and oral care products to the value of 3 million to a significant number of public schools over a period of 5 years, Chair. The last case that I will speak about in litigation is the Commission against Albro, and this is a referral, Chair, again in the energy sector. And here the Commission referred a complaint against Albro. Albro is the largest manufacturer of transformer bushings in South Africa. Transformer bushings, Chair, are parts that are required in the manufacturing of transformers. And the biggest procurer of these transformers, Chair, as you would know, is Eskom. The Commission referral followed a complaint that was lodged by competitors of Albro in the market. And the gist of the complaint essentially is that Albro has engaged in exclusionary conduct of requiring or inducing customers not to deal with its competitor by entering into almost exclusive supply arrangement with Revive Electrical Transformer, the largest manufacturer of transformers, and this would be in contravention of Section 5(1) of the Competition Act. And it has also been embarking on a strategy of inducing downstream consumers not to deal with Albro's competitors. And may I say, Chair, that some of these competitors include HDP players. So we thought, Chair, that it is important in the sector, Chair, that there is competition and that we ensure that dominant firms in this sectors do not engage in exclusionary conduct that exclude their competitors. Chair. Chair, I'm not going to speak about Razlovka, Chair, as I have done so when I was dealing with prohibited measures, Chair. Chair, I'll then move to another key area of the work of the Competition Commission, Chair, and that's its advocacy function. And Chair, this function is quite critical because it looks at other tools available to the Commission other than enforcement tools or major regulation. And here, Chair, the Commission has been involved in a number of initiatives. First, there has been responses to policies that has been introduced by government. Secondly, there has been workshops that the Advocacy Division has been involved in order to ensure compliance by both players in the market, but also awareness by those who may be affected by anti-competitive behaviors of players in the market. And lastly, responses, Chair, by the Commission to some of the legislative instruments that may be introduced in Parliament to cast a competition perspective view in respect of those. So I'll start with policy responses, Chair. The first one, Chair, is that we have submitted a response to the draft policy that has been published by the Department of Small Business Development, Chair, in respect of SMEs and cooperatives funding policy. The Commission supported this policy because, Chair, as we all know, there is a need for unifying developmental mandate that can leverage off existing government funding and programs and incorporate them into one national developmental funding framework to assist SMEs and cooperatives as they seek to enter into and expand into markets, and one of the critical components has been to create an accessible funding environment for targeted groups, particularly youth, women, and persons with disability. Chair. And we found that this has been one of the threads, Chair, as we are embarking in market inquiries by various SMEs and firms owned by HDPs as they seek to enter and participate in these markets. So this was a very important policy for us to respond to. The second policy response that we submitted, Chair, in these quarters was a draft directive issued by the South African Reserve Bank on a policy intervention to address the risks that can arise from screen scraping within the national payment system. And this introduces a registration system that is managed by the Reserve Bank for financial services providers to conduct screen scraping in a more responsible manner, Chair. The Commission also launched a study on the challenges that women entrepreneurs encounter in their quest to enter and effectively participate in markets. The study, Chair, is titled Promoting Effective Entry and Participation of Women Entrepreneurs in the South African Economy. And it extends the Commission's effort to enhance historically disadvantaged individuals' meaningful participation and entry into the South African economy as required by the Act. This study was launched at our annual conference last year, and it was well received, particularly by women organizations and women entrepreneurs who seek to enter and thrive in the economy. And Chair, the study is in fact available, and we have given the link from our website, Chair, and the themes are dealt with, Chair. And if you require more engagement on it, Chair, we're happy to engage on that. One of the new provisions that was introduced by the Competition Amendment Act is buyer power provision, Chair. And as part of the Advocacy Division's mandate to bring awareness to communities on the provisions of the Act, the Advocacy Division in June 2023 hosted workshops under the theme Unpacking the Buyer Power Provisions, a talk by the Competition Commission. And as I say, Chair, the purpose of the workshop was to raise awareness about power provision, particularly to small suppliers, and to alert dominant buyers in the designated sectors to ensure that they understand their obligations in terms of the buyer power provisions of the Act, and that they do comply with these provisions. It's been one of those provisions, Chair, where we haven't seen a lot of activities, and we are looking at strategies, Chair, as the Commission, to ensure that we are looking to create activities in this on these provisions, including looking at enforcement interventions in order to create precedent in this case, Chair. The other area that I wanted to touch on is international engagement. Chair, you will recall that the heads of state adopted the competition protocol of the African Continental Free Trade Area, and the Competition Commission under the leadership of the Deputy Commissioner Hadeen Rachisusu was pivotal in the negotiation of the competition protocol. The work that we've been doing, Chair, is once the competition protocol has been adopted, there are a lot of regulations that need to then be adopted to give effect to the protocol. And the Commission in the Africa Competition Forum, which is a forum of African competition authorities, has been engaging in research to look at thresholds that will be determined in terms of the competition protocol to determine the level at which the Continental Competition Authority will be intervening on measures and on dominance relating to market conduct, Chair. Another interesting project at an international level that the Commission has been involved in is that the Commission, together with the Competition Commission of Kenya, are leading a special project on food and agricultural markets that is a special project of the International Competition Network, which is a network of global competition authorities to see what interventions competition authorities should be embarking on in these critical markets, particularly looking at how inflation and global value chains have been affected and the impact of pricing on food and agricultural markets, particularly for developing countries, Chair. And this, as I say, Chair, is a project that South Africa and Kenya are spearheading, and we will be presenting a part of the work that we are doing in Brazil in the coming financial year, Chair, before the International Competition Network. Chair, the last part here is to confirm that the Competition Commission will host the BRICS conference of competition authorities in the BRICS countries in 2025, and preparatory work is currently underway in this regard. Chair, you'll recall this is a biannual conference, and the last one we participated in was in India in October of 2023, Chair. Okay, I will then move to human capital, Chair. And here, Chair, just to confirm that the Commission continues to ensure appropriate investment in its capacity to deliver on its mandate. And Chair, you will know that you'll recall, and members will recall, that also as a result of the amendments, there has been a need to increase capacity for the Commission to be able to implement the increased mandate of the Commission as a result of the amended provisions of the Competition Act. Currently, Chair, as at Q3, Chair, the number of employees at the Commission is 228, which is consistently where we have been. And this is bearing in mind that we still have, as of end of Q3, 11.4% vacancy rate, Chair. And we are, Chair, just to confirm, have been hard at work, Chair, to improve on these vacancy rate. I think when we started this financial year, we were sitting at 43 vacancies, and we have in the 3 quarters managed to fill 30 vacancies. However, because the filling of these vacancies create new vacancies, as some of the vacancies are filled by promoting individuals within the organization, you still see that you still have an 11.4% of vacancy rate. On the gender profile of the commission, we are, as of Q3, at 57%, Chair, and there are 2.31% employees with disability, Chair, currently, Chair. I also wanted to speak about one of the projects that the Corporate Service Division is embarking upon, Chair, and that is the Enterprise Resource Planning System, Chair, the ERP system. And in this financial year, Chair, we have made sure, Chair, that this system is being implemented. Chair, you recall that this project has been on our APP for a number of years, and finally we're looking to achieve and implement it in this financial year, with the aim to go live on 1 April 2024. Chair, I just wanted to confirm that we have gone live on payroll as at 1 April in order to assess where we are at with the system, to deal with any glitches that may arise, and look to see that the implementation goes as swiftly as possible. And Chair, just to remind the committee that the emphasis for the project currently has been to look at integration of business processes, particularly in HR, finance, and payroll. We're hoping to have real-time data access and process optimization. And this will also help us, Chair, not just for regulatory compliance and reporting, but also to improve operational efficiencies and productivity as we are able to gather these data at a real-time level, and help us to better plan strategically on interventions of the commission, be it at an organizational, operational level, but also on the mandate of the commission in the economy. We are looking into the new financial year to implement the management information system as part of integrating it into the ERP, Chair. Coming to the finances, Chair, what I wanted to highlight here, Chair, is that as we know that there is fiscal pressure, Chair, there has been a reduction, a baseline reduction of 10% on the government grant to the commission, and this is approximately 45.3 million reduction, Chair. The baseline reduction also affect the MTF period, Chair, in the coming 3 years. So we'll have a 10%, 11%, and 12% reduction respectively, Chair. Chair, just under expenditure, Chair, you will see that currently, Chair, we don't think that the reduction will affect the commission in the current financial year, but the impact we think will be there in the coming 3 years, Chair. And so it requires that in our planning and budgetary process, Chair, that we we are focused and ensure that we focus allocation of resources on those projects that will bring about significant impact in the economy and allow for an efficient and effective management of the resources, Chair. So just on the work program, as I said, Chair, we are continuing to implement the amendments, the 2019 amendments, and central to that is the promotion of participation of new players, especially small and medium enterprises, firms and firms that are owned by historically disadvantaged person, Chair. And so as we do so, Chair, we're looking to also find those cases that we can, from an enforcement point of view, take on to develop jurisprudence, Chair, on these new provisions. And Chair, development of jurisprudence is key in that it also provides certainty and clarity to market participants, so they know what the extent of the law, and as this is new, parties should be able to get certainty on the interpretation of the law as provided by the courts, Chair. On market conduct, Chair, I have spoken about the buyer power provisions, Chair, and the price discrimination provisions, Chair, particularly as it affects HDP and SME firms. We have had, Chair, some luck in this regard in relation to price discrimination. The teams have been hard at it, proactively looking for these cases, and I think in this period we have managed to have referral of cases, particularly on price discrimination, as it relates to public interest provisions, Chair. Prioritization, Chair, as I said, particularly in this economic climate, is quite key. So we have to be deliberate to ensure that the work that the Commission embarks on has maximum impact in promoting competition and increasing participation in the economy, and this includes not just thematic prioritization, but also looking at changing economic environment and prioritizing government priorities in this regard, Chair. We are continuing with the work in market inquiries, Chair. I beg your pardon, particularly in priority markets, where the removal of features that adversely affect competition can unlock growth, achieve greater participation, and benefit consumers, particularly low-income consumers. On operational effectiveness and efficiencies, as I've said, Chair, we have prioritized and continue to prioritize organizational structure and design by looking at adequately staffing provisions for the Commission so that we are effective in implementing our mandate in terms of the Act. We're looking at improvement of processes and systems and investment in creating a conducive environment for better operations and effective and efficient use of resources for the Commission, Chair. In conclusion on performance, Chair, before I move to the Forex case, I just wanted to say, as we said, Chair, the Commission expects to meet more than 80% of its target in the current financial year. And we're looking for continuous improvement, Chair, as we move into our last strategic 5-year focus and celebrate our 25th year anniversary, Chair. The Commission is also focusing on responsible and efficient use of its budget to ensure that we spend appropriately, thereby ensuring that there is no underspending, no overspending in this period, Chair. We will continue, Chair, and commit to continue to execute on our mandate of growing a deconcentrated and inclusive economy for all South Africans, Chair. Chair, this concludes the performance part of the presentation, Chair, and now I will move to the briefing on the Forex case, Chair, if that's okay, Chair.
In order, you may proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, as you recall, the Commission referred a complaint against 28 respondent banks to the Competition Tribunal for prosecution for being part of a cartel that coordinated on trading the South African rand and the US dollar currency pair. This followed a leniency application, Chair, by Barclays Bank, Chair. As a result, the Commission initiated a complaint, an investigation into this conduct in 2015, Chair, and following that initiation, Chair, in the investigation, there was a need to amend the initiation to include further banks into the inquiry, and those banks included both South African and international banks, Chair. And as I said, 28 of them are being prosecuted for colluding on the South African rand and the US dollar currency pair. Following the investigation, the Commission found, Chair, that the banks colluded on the American dollar and the South African rand currency pair by fixing bids, offer and spreads, the spot exchange rate, and the exchange rate at the fixture. The banks also, over and above the price fixing component, divided markets by allocating customers in terms of which one trader would withhold or pull his existing bid or offer from the market to allow the other trader to execute and complete their trade. As you know, Chair, this conduct would be in contravention of Section 41B of the Competition Act. Chair, the detail also is still there on the actual conduct of the cartel conduct, Chair. Following the investigation, Chair, the Commission in 2017 referred the matter to the Competition Tribunal for prosecution. It has been, Chair, a protracted litigation. I just need to say, Chair, that the respondent banks have challenged the referral through interlocutory proceedings, both before the tribunal and the Competition Appeal Court, but have not as yet, Chair, since 2017, actually filed any answering papers in this regard. In 2020, Chair, following the application to the Competition Appeal Court challenging the referral, the CAC, the Competition Appeal Court, delivered its judgment dismissing the appeals from the banks and requiring the Commission to file an amended complaint referral. And the Commission did so in June 2020. The respondents again challenged the amended referral, and the matter was heard before the Competition Tribunal. The Competition Tribunal, I think in 2021, and in 2023, the tribunal issued an order dismissing these challenges and ordering the respondent banks to file their answers to the tribunal. The 23 of these banks challenged the tribunal decision to the Competition Appeal Court, and the matter was heard, I think, at the end of 2023, and in January 2024, the CAC handed down its judgment filed by these 23 respondents' bank. It dismissed appeals of 4 respondent banks, BNP Paribas, JP Morgan, Chase Bank, Credit Suisse, and HSBC Bank. And the tribunal ordered them to file their answering affidavits with the tribunal within 40 days. The CAC upheld 18 respondents' banks' appeals in this regard. We detail the respondent banks where the CAC upheld their appeal. Just on this slide, just to remind the committee before I come to where we are at in the litigation, is that 3 of the 23 banks, which is Barclays PLC, Barclays Capital, and ABSA, were granted leniency from prosecution by the Commission as they applied for leniency. 2 banks, Citibank and Standard Chartered Bank, as I said, earlier settled their case with the Commission with an admission of liability and a payment of penalties, and that penalty amount for the 2 comes to 122.2 million rand. Chair, these 5 banks, Chair, have agreed to cooperate with the Commission in the prosecution of the case against the other respondent banks. Chair, we have engaged with other regulator, particularly the regulators in the finance sector on this matter, and we have agreed that the Commission's investigation and prosecution should take its course by continuing to prosecute the matter to its logical conclusion as required by the Act, Chair. Chair, as I said, just in conclusion, where we are at as a Commission is that we have approached the Constitutional Court following the judgment of the Competition Appeal Court for leave to appeal this judgment in respect of the 18 respondent banks. And Chair, we've done that for 2 main reasons, Chair, and these are important reasons, Chair, and I thought to highlight them to the committee. The one is that what this case has highlighted is that there is clarity required on a jurisdiction of a national competition authority like ours in relation to global cartels. And Chair, there are a lot of cross-border global cartels that are happening where the cartels will be by foreign firms, but will have an impact in South Africa. And we need clarity on the Competition Commission of South Africa's jurisdiction and the Competition Tribunal jurisdiction in enforcing a cartel conduct at a global nature. The second one, Chair, which is not just a cartel matter, but it also impacts our enforcement capacity generally, is to require clarity on when exactly presentation of evidence is required from the Commission, whether it is at a moment of referral, which is a pleading stage, or whether this, as the Commission contends, is at a trial stage, as is required in litigation proceedings more broadly. And so from our point of view, we believe that it is necessary to get this clarity from the highest court to enable us to deal with our enforcement tools more effectively and provide clarity to the market. Chair, I think it's also important to note that 3 of the respondents' bank against whom the Commission won the appeal have also filed application for leave to appeal the judgment of the Competition Appeal Court to the Constitutional Court. So we are all awaiting to hear from the Constitutional Court at this stage. Chair, this brings me to the end of the presentation, Chair, and I will ask the team if there's anything that I have left out, Chair, and if there's something they wanted to add. But otherwise, Chair, we are in your hands and the honourable members' hands for any questions, Chair. Thank you.
Is there anything that your team wants to add? Or shall we go into questions?
I think we can go into questions, Chair. I think the team is fine, Chair. Thanks.
Oh, okay, members. There we have the presentation by the Competition Commission. Can I see hands for interaction with the report? I see no hands. Oh, there we go. Honourable McPherson. Can I see hands? No further hands. Honourable McPherson.
Thanks, Chair. I'm sure when I'm finished, the colleagues from the ANC will have something to say. I felt like the presentation given and the reality and conduct around the Competition Commission couldn't have been further from reality, or couldn't have been more worlds apart. So I want to start off with market inquiries before I get on to the Forex case. So market inquiries have obviously become a tool for the Commission to, in their view, understand, I'm paraphrasing their words, sort of the health or state of certain markets, and to try and understand what's going on. Now, I want to understand, how are those inquiries determined? Are they determined through complaints? Are they determined through research or investigation by the Commission? Or are they simply, as the Commission alluded to, requirements to meet their APP? So in other words, we have X amount of market inquiries that we need to complete for our annual performance review, so that we can meet those targets. And we just go around sort of looking for inquiries to conduct. And I think that those are important, because what the Commission is actually doing, in my opinion, and the opinion of many commentators now, is creating unnecessary costs, unnecessary uncertainties, and much angst in certain markets through these inquiries, And I'm led to believe that, you know, a booming industry now in the legal profession is representation of companies in inquiries, because they are happening sort of every other day of the week. So what is the cost of each of these inquiries? Just as an example, if we can have some costs associated with with previous inquiries that have been done. And does the Commission not feel that, in fact, the market inquiries are actually breaking down markets and paradoxically making markets uncompetitive through its conduct and through its findings? Let me then move on to the Forex case, because I was wondering when we were going to get briefed on that as part of its litigation presentation. And again, the picture that has been given, Chair, is completely different from the excoriating 79-page judgment given by Judge Dennis Davis. And I want to read some of the highlights of the judgment, because I think that it speaks to the state of the Commission and how it behaves. The judge said that the case should have been, and I quote, pleaded with sufficient factual particularity, i.e., that there were very few facts that the Commission actually presented in the case. He then went on to say, in relation to presenting factual points, that was a bridge too far for the Commission, i.e., it built its own bridge of truth and tried to create truths that actually just simply didn't exist. The judgment showed that the Commission tried to prosecute banks that weren't even accused or related to so-called rand dollar fixing. And that was even admitted by the Commission itself when, in the view of, or in its attack on First Rand, it admitted that it didn't even know who the traders were in First Rand, yet accused them of fixing currency fixing. But not content with that, Chair, they still persisted with the matter. When it came to Standard Bank, they hinged their entire case on the basis of a discussion that a salesperson of the bank had with Barclays Bank, and who wasn't even a trader, which is actually just quite perplexing. Judge Davis reflected on this behavior on the Commission to say, and I quote, that it doesn't even get out the starting blocks. So again, the Commission attempted to build its own truth in a case, and I will reflect on that in a moment, why I think that was so. When it came to the Standard New York securities, the two traders that the Commission accused of being part of this grand conspiracy and collusion didn't even work for the bank that they were accused of working for. And that was entirely evident from the papers that were submitted, but which the Commission refused to acknowledge, refused to maybe read, I don't know, and yet persisted. So they accused people of a crime that didn't even work for the bank that they accused them of. I mean, I'm not a law student, but I can tell you that that's not how the law works. So, Chair, instead of actually dealing with the realities of the case and the truth, what the Commission tried to do is construct a grand conspiracy plan that existed only in their minds, but actually not in reality or not within the facts that were before the court. So the question is why? Why did they persist, and why have they gone down this road for so long, to the embarrassment of the commission, to dent the credibility of the commission and those who work there, to embarrass the department, to embarrass the government? It is completely inexplicable as to why this has gone on for as long as it has, and for the material defects in law that were presented. So I see now that the judgment has been appealed. And you know, there's that old saying that when you're in a hole, you should stop digging. But clearly that's not the case. And the question is who is advising the commission to continue down this road? And where is the legal advice coming from? Number one. Number two, what is the position of the DTIC on the commission's behavior and on this case? And do they support the continued now appeal at the Constitutional Court of it? And number three, what has the cost of the case been to date? Because, Chair, if you want to see clarity on the powers of the commission, you should have done that a long time ago, not drag banks from all over the world to court and then lose in such a spectacular fashion while making up evidence that never existed. Which brings me neatly onto my last point in question. Ms. Tsepe, do you believe that there is a conflict of interest with your husband, who represents the Competition Commission in cases that are either before the tribunal or before court? And if not, why not? Why do you believe that there is no conflict of interest? Have you ever raised this with the minister about this potential conflict, and sought clarity or permission for your husband to represent the entity? And then lastly, is your husband representing the entity in the Forex case and now in the appeal to the Constitutional Court? Those are my questions, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Pearson. Honourable Mbuyane, and then Honourable Dr. Ntwane.
Chairperson, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm really disturbed about the previous speaker here, taking personal issues and put it here in the committee, and also want the status quo to remain. They reject the Competition Commission because the Competition Commission unfolds what they are doing and on what they've been doing for quite some time. And they don't want transformation, that we know, and that is why now they come here and grandstand as if the Competition Commission is doing nothing. Competition Commission will remain here. It's our entity, and is dealing with the malfeasance that these white people they were doing to the black. They reject transformation, and we can't be told by them. Thank you very much, Chair. I just want to get into the matter of the competition. Let me first welcome the presentation made here by the Competition Commission, and it's clearly an eye-opening report that gives us an understanding as to what is it that they are busy doing in our shores. On the issue of transformation, we acknowledge the transformational program and agenda, and also the 25th anniversary that they are dealing with this year. Chair, one other thing, the market inquiries that they've made, more especially in the digital and also the online one. It assists us to deal with the systems that were previously disadvantaging our people, the majority of our people in South Africa. One, if you can see the online intermediary and also this bond and fresh produce, it shows that people of South Africa, more especially the majority, are not being taken care of here. Chair, let me also check in terms of the HR, human resources. I saw in terms of the numbers that people that are deployed in terms of youth, gender, and also the transitional agenda. I just wanted to check because of the awareness and education program. Given the situation of South Africa, we've got more than 6 rural provinces. How are they reaching out to the more rural areas in terms of selling them out? People must know that this competition commission, it's here to deal with the malfeasance that has been dealt with in the past. And also checking these big conglomerates, because you know that they can commit any crime that they want because they know that they will only pay 10% of whatever that they have been dealing with. What is the proposal of the Competition Commission in terms of the 10%? Because yes, the first instant will be 10, the second instant 25%, but it's nothing. Like what I've seen here, they said it's 112 million rand. That the crime that was committed by these conglomerates. What is the effect in terms of the market and also the operational effectiveness of the work program of the Forex? Coming back to the banks, there are 3 banks that we at least agreed to be committing any crime. And the 18 banks, the matter is still in the court. So I just want to check in terms of their turnaround time, in terms of investigation. How long will you be able to get a clear understanding as to what transpired? And in terms of turnaround time, when are we expecting to get a report here as to exactly what transpired in this collusion? Thank you very much, Chair, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Mbiani. Honorable Dr. Ntwani.
Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity to be able to ask questions. And I want to thank the Competitions Commission for the elaborate report that they gave to us. Indeed, I want to agree with my colleague that spoke earlier about the grandstanding here of the monopoly white economy defender. The first speaker,
Sorry,
Chair.
Chairperson, point of order.
Thank you, Honorable Ntwani. Let me just hear the point of order.
Thank you, Chairperson. You'll know that according to the House rules, that it is unparliamentary and unacceptable to reference another person's race, which the honourable member has just done, and I would ask that you would withdraw that as it was done in a disparaging way.
There's no order here. Order, Chair.
No, Chairperson, you will know that
I'll rule on your point of order. Honorable McPherson, allow me to rule. Honorable Ntwani, can you withdraw the statement that you made referring to the member's race?
It was not referring to any member here. It was referring to a statement made by the member, not a member.
Honorable Ntwani,
Chairperson, I withdraw.
Thank you. Honorable Mbuyani.
Chairperson, thank you very much. I think here, Chair, the member was referring to a statement made by the member, not the member to say it's a racist, but the utterances and the grandstanding. It shows that there's racist utterances. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Monakedi.
Chair, yes, I wanted to clarify that Dr. Ndwane was actually saying Mr. McPherson, Honorable McPherson, is a defender of a particular system which encourages wide domination as far as the economy is concerned. So I want to believe that the chair misunderstood what actually Honorable Ndwane was saying. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable McPherson.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to then I'll now raise a further point of order on the comments by the Honorable Mbuyani, who referenced, and I quote, racist utterances by the member. And that too is unparliamentary according to the rules and should be withdrawn.
Wow. Members, can I just please appeal to all of us to act in a parliamentary manner, in not making disparaging remarks and rather make our points. I uphold the point of order called by Honorable McPherson, but I note the point of order raised by Honorable Monakedi saying that I misheard. So let me ask the committee secretary to assist us, and then I will rule on it later at the end of our deliberations, or even tomorrow, so that we can listen to the recordings. But Honorable Dr. Ntwani has withdrawn, so I'll ask her to continue. You please lower your hands.
Sorry, Chair, I just want to get an understanding. Are you now going to seek a ruling on the Honorable Mbuyani's comments?
Yes, I will.
But you want to chair, you want to put orders.
Please,
what do you
members,
want? Can you leave the chair to chair the meeting? You can't be chairing the meeting while you want us to keep quiet here.
Members, can you just allow me to then rule on all points of orders that was raised in the meeting now? Thank you. Please lower your hands. Honorable Ntwani, continue.
Thank you, Chair. Just to note that we're all aware that our economy in South Africa are white controlled. So, Chair, the very same banks are hoarding profit and are not reinvesting in the economy, with the resultant low growth of the economy, and the government are blamed for not creating employment. Whilst the very same banks that are involved in this price fixing and currency fixing is allowed to continue with what they're doing. They are not being held accountable. So, Chair, I want to commend the Competition Commission for calling all these banks to come and account for the damage that they've caused to the economy. So, Chair, with regard to the questions that I need to ask the Commission is, why did the Commission need an extension for the online intermediation platforms market inquiry until 31st July? This extension inhibited the completion of a market in the first quarter of the 2023 financial year. So what measures has the Commission taken to ensure that inquiries are completed timeously? Can the Commission explain or elaborate on the use on the case that was dismissed by the tribunal on account of characterization? I think it's on page 7 of the first quarter report. Then with the report on the development of the modules of the human resource and finance systems. was not completed in the quarter. According to the Commission, the report could not be submitted during the reporting period due to outstanding actions that needed to be completed. Can the Commission explain what these outstanding actions were and why they could not be completed on time? And then, Chair, can the Commission explain why it reported the following key performance indicators, or the KPIs, as not applicable in its first quarter report, when the APP has targets for each of these for the first quarter? KPI 7, the percentage of energy sector related investigations completed within 6 months. KPI 8, the percentage of energy sector related exemption applications completed within 6 months. KPI 10, the percentage of exemption applications completed within 12 months. And then KPI 19, the percentage of merger decisions upheld by the tribunal. KPI 20, the percentage of merger decisions upheld by the courts. KPI 25, the percentage of advisory opinions issued within 60 days. And then, can the Commission explain why it reported the following KPIs as not applicable in its second quarter report, when the APP has targets for each of these for the second quarter? KPI 7, the percentage of energy sector related investigations completed within 6 months. KPI 8, percentage of energy sector related exemption applications completed within 6 months. KPI 10, the percentage of exemption applications completed within 12 months. KPI 16, percentage of cartel cases won at the courts. KPI 17, the percentage of market conduct cases won at the tribunal in relation to abuse of dominance, restrictive practices, and exemption litigation. KPI 18, percentage of merger decisions upheld by the tribunal. KPI 20, the percentage of merger decisions upheld by the courts. And then KPI 25, percentage of advisory opinions issued within 60 days, and KPI 34, the number of research and thought leadership insights published. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ntwani. Honorable Monakedi, I saw your hand going up and then you lowered it. Do you wish to speak?
Very much, Dr. Ndwani has actually covered me on other points that I wanted to raise. But yes, I also want to welcome and appreciate the report as presented, especially because it is going a long way towards making sure that the playing field as far as the South African economy is concerned, and as many of our people are actually included in playing a part. One or two questions from my side. The first one being that I think there are areas of underspending, especially human resources, program costs, premises, equipment, research, and information. So I just want to understand what are the reasons for this underspending. But also, as far as IT is concerned, I think there was some overspending. If there could be some explanation as to how did this come about, and if there has been any negative impact on the operations of the work of the Commission. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Monakedi. I don't see any further hands from members. Ms. Sepe, over to you and your team. You can share the questions. And then I'll also at the end just give a opportunity to the department if they wish to respond on any matters raised by the committee members. Ms. Commissioner.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, just as you rightly say, some of the colleagues will help me deal with some of the questions. Just on the questions by Honorable McPherson, Chair, advocate responsible for the Forex case is Advocate Tembeka Ngugaitobi for the Commission on that matter, Chair. And Chair, in respect of Ngwagu Maineje, the cases he is dealing with for the Commission are cases where he was advocate for the Commission prior to my appointment at the Commission. And since my appointment, Chair, the Commission has not appointed Advocate Maineje as a counsel for the Commission, Chair. I just wanted to get that out of the way before I deal with the issues, Chair. I'm going to deal with the two matters that Honorable McPherson then raised in relation to market inquiries and the Forex case. Market inquiries are a tool established by the Competition Act, which is an act of Parliament, which is one of the tools available to competition authorities to use to understand the general state of the market. It's an important tool, different to an investigation or major regulation. It is not against one particular firm or specific conduct, but to understand the general state of that market and see if there are adverse, if there are market features that are having an adverse effect on the market, including its participants and HDPs and SME firms alike. It was an intervention that was brought by Parliament, understanding the importance of market inquiries as a tool for competition authorities. It's not a South African phenomenon. It is done by other competition authorities the world over. It has been used throughout. In fact, some of the market inquiries that we are engaging in at the moment in South Africa are being conducted or have been conducted in other areas around the globe. And understanding that South Africa, the economy is different to the economy of other countries in the world. And so it's important that we use that tool. It has a number of benefits, Chair. Unlike enforcement or litigation, you're looking at a broader economy. We are using often employees of the Commission, and it's not necessarily a protracted litigation. What the amendments did, and it will deal with, I think, a question by Honorable Ntwane as well, was in the past, market inquiry didn't have a time period to run. In fact, what the amendments did was it said it must be conducted in 18 months. And what the Commission has tried, particularly with the online intermediation platform market inquiry, was to try to meet that deadline, Chair, of 18 months. The engagements following the provisional report with market participants, particularly in relation to some of the remedies that the Commission intended to impose on those parties, meant that those engagements took longer. and that's why we could not have finalized it at the end of quarter 4 in 2022-2023, and we did that in the first quarter of 2023-2024. But it was a good thing, Chair, in the sense that you then had remedies imposed that are discussed with parties, and that's why you will see that there has been implementation of those remedies. So market inquiries are important, Chair, and the Act empowers the Commission to do so. To initiate those inquiries. I'm not sure if Honourable McPherson was there when I spoke at the beginning on some of the studies that we conduct, that we have conducted, which then feed also into some of the decisions we make into market inquiry. The one example I gave, Chair, when I spoke on the essential food price monitoring report, we spoke about some of the findings we were making in relation to poultry that led to the scoping study on poultry, and then to the draft terms of reference that then allowed us to initiate that market inquiry. So the issue of market inquiry is informed by prioritization and the need to intervene in some of these sectors. It is not out of just merely wanting to meet the target. Where I spoke about the target was that there may be a need to initiate one, but not that that's the intention. The intention is far from that, Chair. It is actually to implement the mandate that has been given on the Competition Commission through an Act of Parliament, being the Competition Act, Chair. So that is on market inquiry, Chair. And we have sought to ensure that as we implement these, we have, as I said, in fact, in my presentation, we publish draft terms of reference, which we require stakeholders to engage on and make submissions to the Commission on the extent of these market inquiries. And in fact, some of the remedies that we have put in place on the online intermediation platform market inquiry, they are about opening up that market, which is a growing area of the economy and necessary for us to ensure that when we engaging in these market inquiry, it is for the benefit of all South Africans, as the Act requires. And Chair, just to emphasize, as I say, this is not an investigation against the firm. This is a general an assessment into the general state of the market, and we then look into that. So I just wanted to highlight that on the market inquiry, Chair, and that it is a useful tool that is employed all over the world. The Canadians, the UK authorities, the Australian authorities, they're using this tool, Chair, and to the benefit of the markets, Chair. And it's not a bad thing at all. Just to add, Chair, on the Forex case, Chair. I just wanted to go back, Chair. As I said, we have 3 leniency applicants, Chair, who have admitted to engaging in conduct that contravenes the Act. We've had 3 of those, 2 international, 1 local firm, Chair. We have 2 other, Citibank and Standard Chartered Bank, who have settled with the Commission. Those settlement agreements have been made orders of the Competition Tribunal, where they have settled with the Commission and admitting liability and agreeing to a payment of a penalty. So this is not the commission making up a case. The parties who are involved in the conduct have come to the commission to say that they have been involved and have agreed to help the commission to prosecute the remaining parties. Chair, and I just thought maybe to say this, that it's been a protracted litigation, Chair, and I've said this in my presentation. Chair, when you run a litigation, and I said that's one of the things we want in clarity from the Constitutional Court on, is you start with pleadings, and in pleadings, you set out the facts that are necessary for the other side to be able to respond to your to the allegations that you have. And that is the rules of the Competition Tribunal set that out. And so at this stage, we have set out the facts that we as the Commission are saying these are the facts that the other side needs to respond to. Obviously, the Competition Appeal Court have said that we require more. But that's the second question I have asked you, which is, at this stage of pleading, is the kind of information or evidence that the Competition Appeal Court is asking of the tribunal an appropriate level of evidence required in the pleading stage? Or is this something that will be or will come out during a trial process? And that we are, as a regulator, as the Commission, required to understand those parts, because they don't just have an impact on this case, but they have an impact in relation to the other cases that we will be litigating. And we are not seeking guidance just on matter, Chair. It's the guidance will help us in relation to other cases. And so, Chair, I just thought to deal with that in respect of these two matters, Chair. I will then, seeing that I'm talking on the Forex case deal, I think it was the question raised by Honorable Mbuyane in relation to penalties, Chair. Chair, you'll recall that before the amendments, a penalty, Section 59 only provided for a 10% penalty. And the Act has since been amended that for a second contravention, there can be an imposition of a penalty of 25%. And that, I think, was the legislature, Parliament, recognizing that sometimes 10% may not be enough, especially where there has been a repeat offense. And that has been included in the Act, Chair, for those, for the second, for the penalty, Chair. Chair, in relation to Honorable Ntwane's questions, Chair, Chair, some I may be able to deal with them, but some I may have to we may have to come back on them. The first one that I wanted to deal with in relation to Honorable Ntwane, and I dealt briefly with it on the timing of completion of the online intermediation platform market inquiry, Chair. You'll recall the amendment has said we have to complete this in 18 months. The online intermediation platform market inquiry was an extensive market inquiry, Chair. It covered a whole range of sectors, as I said in the presentation. So it was quite ambitious of the Commission to complete it in 18 months. But as I said, Chair, the aim was still to do so. But in engaging with the parties on the remedies, that took a little bit of time, longer than we had intended, but it was helpful. because in the end, most of the parties were in agreement with the remedies and continued to implement those other than the ones that I had mentioned earlier, Chair, who are challenging. But as I said, Chair, there is still engagements happening even with those ones, with the aim of resolving amicably those cases so that we don't have long protracted litigation. In relation to the not KPIs that are not applicable, and I think we will respond properly in some of these. I will not go into all the details, Chair, but safe to say, so although that a KPI would have been there in the quarter, meaning we should engage. In instances, for example, KPI 7 in relation to energy cases, so you'll recall, Chair, there were block exemptions and some regulations that were put in place in order to fast-track energy-related cases that would have come to the Commission at the time. And I think in relation to those, Chair, none of those would have come. Or, for example, an exemption application, there would have not have been an exemption application that would have come in that time. So there will be different reason in relation to those where that that would not have been triggered. And maybe not applicable may not be the right word, Chair, but that the coming of that KPI may not have been triggered because of any of those reasons, Chair. But Chair, I think what we can then do is I will ask the team to just deal with that, and maybe respond. Chair, with your leave, because there were a number of those, and I just don't want to miss out on any of them. In relation to underspending, I think just the number, Chair. In relation to HR, Chair, there would have been vacancies, and in fact, we, as we would have said, Chair, we have been hard at work to try and fill those vacancies. And deal with the underspending, but because we do need that capacity. But in the process of filling those vacancies, Chair, there has been a creation of further vacancies that affect that line item. And in some instances, Chair, it will also be timing. Of when the expenditure is in the financial year, but then as you go into the end, there may be a capacity to use that spending. On IT overspending, Chair, I think it's a timing thing, and I'll ask the CFO to deal with it, because at the end of the financial year, that will not be an overspending in respect of that item. Yeah. So on spending, Chair, on both underspending and overspending, we have been very cautious, particularly on case-related costs, Chair. There has been cases where we would have budgeted for them, but are not proceeding, for example, in the tribunal, for one or the other reasons. And in respect of those, then there would be an underspending because that matter would not have proceeded, and the costs associated with that will then not be spent and create the underspending in relation to that item. I think there was the issue of characterization, a case in Q1, and I will ask I think Bake if we could look at that, and then the ERP modules Those were the two, I think, matters that I think we did not respond to.
Are you handing over, Commissioner, to other members?
Yes, Chair. I'm handing over to Andile and then to Baki.
Okay.
If that's fine, Chair.
Yes, that's fine. Proceed.
Thank you very much, Commissioner, and thank you very much, Honorable Chair and members. I wanted, Chair, to just deal with the targets not applicable, just in Q2, by way of illustration of the point that the Commissioner made. If you look at the first two of those not applicable targets, they relate to the energy sector, related investigations and related applications. The Commission did not have any investigations that were applicable in that quarter. And of course, just to remind members that these are in terms of the TEEDS, which is the technical indicator definition that basically outlines at what point will that target become applicable. So we did not have those cases in Q2. With respect to the target 10, again, we did not have exemption applications that were applicable in terms of the TEEDS at that time. With respect to KPI 16, Honorable Chair, we did not have cartel cases. We did not have judgments on cartel cases at the courts in Q2. With respect to KPI 17, we did not have in Q2 case judgments on the cases related to market conduct. And that also goes to 18. That also goes to 20, where we did not have any judgments from the courts or the tribunal related to those aspects, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next member.
Yeah, thank you, Chair and Commissioner. I think the Commissioner has covered all the issues very well. In relation to market inquiries, the only other point to make is that these market inquiries have yielded quite significant outcomes. And I can make example here with reference to the inquiry that the Commission did on data pricing just before the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. That inquiry managed to reduce data pricing quite significantly. And of course, there are, as the Commissioner pointed out, a number of examples of the inroads that the tool has made in making a difference in the lives of consumers as well as in markets. In relation to the Forex matter, the only other point to emphasize is that there is a decision in that matter in favor of the Commission by the Competition Tribunal. In fact, what the Competition Tribunal found was that the banks have a case to answer. So that is also an important consideration which has to be taken into account when one is looking at the case. So one has to take a holistic view of the case. Of course, the Competition Tribunal's decision was overturned by the CAS, the Competition Appeal Court. But it's also important to consider where the tribunal came out on the question whether or not there is a case for the banks to answer. Now, in relation to the case on characterization, the main case on characterization was the WACO decision. And this decision related to whether bidders in a public procurement process who have not had a prior competitive relationship can be considered as competitors in the bidding process. And this is where the tribunal found that there is a requirement for a prior competitive process before bidders can be considered to be competitors. Under appeal in the competition appeal court. In terms of the targets, I will only address the targets relating to advisory opinions as well as energy related cases. On advisory opinions, the minister has gazetted regulations for advisory opinion. They were first gazetted for public comments, and there was a need to gazette them again because of certain considerations that had to be taken into account following the first round of public comments. So once I think the plan is to have them gazetted in this quarter, and once the final regulations on advisory opinions have been gazetted, the target will be on advisory opinions will be activated by the Commission. At the moment, what the Commission is doing is to provide informal guidance to the market so as to assist with compliance with the Act. Now, in terms of energy-related prosecutions, the energy-related prosecutions were going to follow the price gouging model that the Commission employed in relation to price gouging under COVID, because government had gazetted a declaration of a national state of disaster in relation to energy. So those cases were in the energy-related prosecutions were in anticipation of the declaration of the state of disaster in relation to energy. So when the declaration was withdrawn, the prosecutions that were going to follow that framework, the disaster regulation framework, then had to fall away. But as the Commissioner has pointed out, it doesn't mean that we have not intervened by way of investigations and prosecutions in the energy sector, of course, outside of the disaster regulatory framework, because that had been withdrawn. Thank you, Chair and Commissioner.
Thank you, Bake, and thank you, Andile. Chair, there are two questions that I just realized we have not answered. One relates to awareness programs in rural areas. Chair, we have been engaging. Our advocacy division has in fact been engaging in this we have been looking at agro-impact studies, and what this work required is site visits to smallholder farms in the rural areas of Eastern Cape, Mpumalanga, and KwaZulu-Natal, among others, and in relation to the automotive outreach project, Chair, the Commission has been in the areas, particularly in the Eastern Cape, in Lusikisiki, Umtata, and Uitenhage, Chair, and to all provinces, Chair, in relation to school uniform outreach projects, Chair. Chair, and this is over and above the other areas that the advocacy division holds in respect of the other projects. But I just wanted to say this on that, Chair. On ERP, Chair, I think there was a question on the delays in finalizing the development, and on in relation to and sign off on business requirements. Chair, this is a complex project, Chair, that had meant us getting a PMO office, Chair, to help us to ensure that we get it right at the a moment of engagement, Chair, so that as an IT project, we make sure that our processes are right at the beginning. And so there would have been delays there, Chair, both finalizing all those processes, even with the PMO, and contracting, and making sure that our business requirements are done properly, Chair, and we don't move into the project, and while inside the project realize that there may be some problems, Chair. So yes, but Chair, as I said, we are catching up to ensure that we go live on the project, and we would have met this target at the end of this financial year, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And then I think Honorable Mbuyane asked about the turnaround time on the market inquiry. Sorry, into the...
No, it was on the Forex. Yes, it was the Forex case. Chair, we are waiting on the Constitutional Court at the moment. You apply for leave to appeal, and the court will then come back to us to indicate whether there will be hearing, and if so, when. So at the moment, it's in the hands of the Constitutional Court.
Okay. Thank you very much. Can I now hand over to Ms. van Mierlis to make any concluding remarks? Ms. van Mierlis.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. There's been extensive discussion on a large amount of work conducted by the Competition Commission. Their report was very detailed to you, as it always is, and reflects the depth of capacity within the Commission to undertake its mandate. Honourable members raised a number of critical and important points. We encouraged points that have linked the work of the Commission to the important task of opening the economy up to more participants and making sure that smaller businesses that want to be able to engage in the economy and grow are placed on a better footing to do so. The department will continue to monitor the Commission's work against KPIs. So honourable members had raised questions around financing and around when KPIs are not applicable or not. We'll continue to engage with them on that to ensure, one, that they continue to deliver on their mandate as well as they do, and secondly, to keep engaging to ensure that they have the necessary resources to fulfill their mandate. So from the department, thank you very much, Chairperson, honourable members. We remain available to answer any questions or make any presentations that you wish on this, should you require anything further. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And on behalf of the committee, can I thank the Competition Commission for their work and for the report given to this committee. And we, of course, as the Portfolio Committee, maybe in the next Parliament, will continue to oversee the work of the important work done by the Competition Commission. That's my concluding remark. Honourable McPherson.
Thanks, Chair. That sounds like the prelude to a statement that's going to go out from the committee. And if you're planning to do that, please note that that is your statement and not shared by the Democratic Alliance. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable McPherson. The committee has, I think, in 2020 or 2021, taken a decision on issues, on statements being issued by the chair on behalf of the committee. So we will stick to what was resolved in that meeting. But if for the record you are saying that you do not wish to be included in the statements issued by the chairperson, we'll note that. Honourable, not honourable, Mr. Hermans, any announcements?
Chair, we just in terms of tomorrow, we will get a briefing from the National Credit Regulator on the first, second, and third quarter financial and non-financial performance reports, Chair. Thanks.
Thank you very much. That concludes our business for today. Thank you very much, members.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Long live the chairperson.
Thank you, Chair and honourable members.
Recording stopped.